This is a free AI app which is going to take an audio in any language and it will translate and transcribe it into whatever your language of choice is. It is completely free. It does not require any API and it's private and offline. So depending on your use case, if you make YouTube videos, podcasts, or if you just want to generate subtitles for literally anything, this is way better than using any random online tool because it's private, offline, and everything is free. And you are going to control everything essentially. We are using open source Whisper, Argos Translate, and Streamlit for the UI. Argos Translate is the massive block in this program because it's an ultimate backbone which is going to go and translate it into our targeted languages. So before we go and dive deeper into the backend side of the things, I'm going to show you the demo of how this program is working so that we can get an idea of how this tool is going to function. So as you can see, we have an option here to select the targeted subtitle languages, right? So right now I have selected French, Spanish, and I'm also going to select Hindi here. So now I'll upload a already pre-recorded English audio file. And then our main goal is to see if it is going to translate it into French, Spanish, or Hindi or not. It doesn't matter what the input file is. Like it could be even in French, it could even be Spanish, and you can select the targeted languages here. But right now, most commonly people would know English. So that's why I have created the English audio file. Okay. So before I go and run this, I'm going to first of all show it to you what the audio file contains.
Hello, this is a transcription video. We are just testing if this program works or not.
So as you can hear, this is a transcription video and we are testing if this program works or not. So I'm going to go here, browse files. I will select that particular file. It was called English audio. I'm going to click on this and then I have to click on transcribe and translate. So once I'll click on transcribe and translate, we should expect 4 files here. First file will always be English because by default I have set it up in a way that we're always going to have an English translation of whatever the input language is. And then we will expect the files for other 3 languages. Okay. So now, as you can see, we have 4 SRT files. This is English, French, Spanish, and Hindi. So I'm going to download the French file here. And then, so as you can see here, we have an index, timestamp, and it is going to show me the French literal translation of the audio that we have uploaded. We also have a Hindi translation file, so we will open that file as well. So as you can see, we have an index, timestamp, and this is a literal Hindi translation which says नमस्कार, यह इस परीक्षण के माध्यम से एक ट्रांसक्रिप्शन वीडियो है यदि यह कार्यक्रम काम करता है कि नहीं. This is in pure Hindi. Yeah. Okay. So now you are having a rough idea of how the program is functioning. So now we will dive deeper into the backend dynamics of this app. Before diving into the code, I will show you the architecture diagram of this program so that we will know what we are developing. So this is the architecture diagram here. This is the AI generated diagram generated by ChatGPT for this program. So as you can see, the first step here is we are going to upload the file through Streamlit. Once the file is uploaded, Whisper's role will come into the scene. Whisper is a speech recognition model by OpenAI. It is going to, first of all, extract the audio and it's going to recognize what the input language is. In our case, the input language is English. So it's going to do that. And then it will also show the timestamp of the audio, right? And then once that's done, as I said, Argos Translate is the massive backbone of this program. So that is going to be responsible for translating it into the targeted language. Once we have it translated into targeted languages, the next step will be SRT builder. SRT is literally nothing. It's just the format that we are using here. That we will have an index here. We'll have the index. We'll have the timestamp, and then we'll have the literal translation of the targeted language. And then once we have the SRT builder, we will go to the Streamlit UI, and then we will be able to download the transcribed files. So this is the rough idea of the architecture. Now our next goal is to go into the VS Code, and then we'll find out how each and every aspect of program is working. Okay, so this is the VS Code screen here. So as you can see, we have a requirements.txt file here. You will need to install these 4 things before running the program. So you can just simply do it by the standard pip install -r requirements.txt. You're going to need OpenAI Whisper, Argos Translate, and Argos Translate tools. I've already mentioned what the role of I've already mentioned about the role of these 3 libraries. Okay, so now our main goal is to understand what's really going on inside this transcriber.py. We have also generated some comments here so that we can determine each step in a detail. So first of all, we will have to choose the model size. So I have selected model size is equals to base, and mostly all people are going to select it as a base, because if we'll select medium or large, that's going to eat up lots of your computer resources. My computer does not have a really good GPU, so I'm just going to use a base, and I'm going to also recommend you to use base if your computer is not that strong. Okay, so that's going to be our Whisper model size base model, and then this function is essentially just calling this base model, and it's loading the model into the program. Our next thing is to always transcribe the file into English. This is going to load the model regardless of whatever the targeted language is. We are always going to force the English translation. So that's just something that you can do it by your choice. I have included the English translation forcefully for literally all the audio files. So this is what this file is going to do. Now we will have the Argos Translate language setup. So in this case, we will first of all find out what the from language is and what the to language is, and it's going to check if that model from language to to language model exists in your system or not. For example, if you're doing the English to French translation in your laptop for the first time, most probably your program will not have that model downloaded. So this function is going to first of all find out if that model exists or not, and if it does not exist, then it's going to download that model for you, and it will automatically load into your program. So if you are doing the translation for first time from one language to another language, for the first time it might take some more time, but if you do it for the second time or third time, it's going to do it instantly for you because the model has already been downloaded and loaded. Okay, so this is going to do that step for us. Now get translator. So get translator is going to go and check all the downloaded models. So it's going to find out what the from languages and to languages, and it's going to get that particular model for us, and then will load that model into the program. The fourth step is we will translate the text from code to to code using Argos Translate. So this code is just going to use, this function is just going to use the Argos Translate model that we have gotten from this function, and it will do the translation of that literal text. Then we will have some SRT helpers here. So this is going to format the timestamp. So this is pretty much self-explanatory, right? And then we have a build SRT from segments. This is kind of important because what this is going to do is it's going to go into your audio file. It will determine what the timestamp is, and it's going to first of all extract the text from the audio file of your input. Right, so for right now we have uploaded English file. So this file is going to go and create the SRT formatting from that audio by extracting the audio, obviously, and it will insert everything into the English audio file. Okay, so in that way we will have the English SRT input file, ready. So and then we are going to build the SRT file for the targeted languages. So this function and this function is literally doing the same thing, but the only difference is this is generating the SRT format for the input language, and this is going to generate the SRT format for the output targeted languages. And then we have a high level pipeline. So in a high level pipeline, this is a main function which is going to call all our functions here. So as you can see, we have translated SRT, format timestamp, and all the other functions that I've mentioned. It's going to call these functions in order, and it's going to transcribe and download the file for us in the UI. So this function we are going to use, essentially we are going to use this function in our UI. So app.py is literally the Streamlit UI code. So you can also go and understand this UI code by yourself. I'm going to post the code or I'm going to post the repository on GitHub so that you can have a look and you can have a careful review of how the code is working. That's it. This is how you're going to create your own offline AI tool, which will literally take any audio file in any language and it will turn it into the subtitles of any language of your choice. Hit like and subscribe if you have found this video exciting. Thank you so much for watching.